In fairness, though, I mean, The View has to be, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
He's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. He is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
All right, everyone. Buckle up, because this isn't just another TV feud. This is a $100 million courtroom battle. Melania Trump has filed a defamation lawsuit against The View, one of the biggest talk shows in America. After remarks on live television crossed a line she says can't be ignored. And at the center of it all, Joe Rogan, Sunny Hostin, and a first lady who says enough is enough. Let's break it all down. What you're about to hear includes real quotes, public footage. Here's the deal. Melania Trump, the First Lady, is suing The View after explosive on-air claims about her private life.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the First Lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. People won't want to go against him. But my husband is real. He's raw. He tells it as it is. He's kind. He's a gentleman. He supports everybody.
That morning, in the middle of a noisy New York newsroom, the clip from The View kept replaying on a muted TV screen. Staff moved papers. Phones rang, but the words cut through it all. She hates him. She never wanted to be First Lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. She even hates Christmas. The voices carried a mocking edge, as if every sentence was designed to sting. Melania had heard whispers before, but this time was different. One host went as far as to suggest she couldn't stand living with her husband, maybe even wanted him gone. That wasn't just gossip, it was a personal attack, broadcast in broad daylight. For Melania, that wasn't just offensive. It was the spark that lit a $100 million fire. If you're nodding along or just waiting to hear what about to drop next, go ahead and subscribe. Because trust me, it only gets messier from here.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're in television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yes.
It's like people should look at him and say, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant. I'm not attracted to her big belly or something. And now she's paying attention to the baby and not me.
What the hosts really did was sketch out a soap opera version of Melania's life. For daytime TV, it made for juicy television, but for Melania, it was a step too far. She wasn't about to let herself be turned into a punchline. But now, Sunny Hostin has doubled down and cut straight into her reputation.
You can't have a felon, a liar, a serial cheater. He had Melania next to him, his third wife, who he cheated with Stormy Daniels on while she was pregnant. I think he stands against everything and flies in the face of everything that a Catholic believes and holds dear. He is not a faithful man. Trump has denied ever having an affair with Stormy Daniels.
Oh, that again?
By noon, her phone was buzzing nonstop. Advisors, friends, even reporters asking if she'd seen the broadcast. Melania didn't answer. She only kept glancing at a framed photo on the desk, her family frozen in time. This wasn't about one careless remark anymore. For her, it was about the right to defend her dignity. Later that afternoon, inside a Manhattan law office, a thick folder hit the table. On the cover sheet, the number was impossible to ignore. $100 million. No press release, no public statement, just legal papers drawn, ready to strike. Melania wasn't bluffing. She was taking The View to court.
The real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. You know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her.
And it didn't stop there. That afternoon, on Rogan's set, a monitor flickered to life. The grainy footage rolled. An old episode of The View, back when Donald Trump was only a candidate. The crowd clapped, the hosts beamed. He called out The View for what he saw as pure hypocrisy, reminding everyone that not long ago, the same hosts were all smiles, hugs, and cheers for Trump and Melania.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to play this, but we decided we shouldn't play it. We don't want anybody to have any sort of way to get it down. The episode of you when you were on The View, when you were running for president.
Right.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add President of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to.
You got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you.
We're so happy to have you. Whenever you're on with us, we're very happy. We love it.
They're talking about you in such a favorable light. The audience was cheering, and then you actually started winning in the polls, and then the machine started working towards you.
Joe Biden knows how to do this. Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention...
It's hilarious.
It was at this point Rogan pulled out the receipts. He reminded everyone of an old episode of The View, back when Trump was running for president. Rogan leaned forward, eyes narrowing at the screen. He let the silence hang, then said flatly, "It's hilarious." The laugh that followed wasn't just his. It echoed with disbelief, the kind that cuts through pretense. Here was the contrast laid bare. The same stage that once welcomed Trump with smiles and kisses now framed him and Melania as villains. For Rogan, the hypocrisy wasn't subtle. It was theater. A script flipped the moment politics got real.
When I was on there, I really had no idea how it was going to land with the audience. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way. And I responded to it in the moment, as I do.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
If Melania were to win, the impact would be enormous. It could set a precedent for how far the media is allowed to go when talking about the private lives of public figures. Suddenly, every talk show and newsroom would have to think twice before tossing out casual claims about marriages, families, or reputations. The View has weathered controversies before, but this one feels different. This is a former First Lady going head-to-head with one of the most watched shows in America. That's not just drama, that's history in the making. And then comes the timing. As Melania files her lawsuit, Donald Trump is grabbing headlines of his own. Some observers whisper it's strategy, a move to pull attention back to her at a crucial moment. Others believe it's simple frustration, boiling over after years of being in the crossfire. Whatever the motive, one thing is clear. This story has layers, and we've only begun to peel them back. So when a host went so far as to claim that Melania hates her husband and doesn't want to live in the same house anymore, the reaction was instant. Viewers froze, replayed the clip, and asked the same question. Did they really just say that on national television?
Now you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
What stands out most is how quickly Melania acted. Usually, high-profile figures brush off remarks like these or release a carefully worded statement. But not this time. Instead, she went straight to court, turning casual words on daytime TV into a $100 million legal battle. For her, this isn't about bruised feelings or a bad news cycle. It's about accountability, about drawing a hard line between fair commentary and outright defamation. And with that staggering dollar amount attached, the message is unmistakable. This is no publicity stunt. It's a serious fight to protect her name and her reputation for the long haul. Those comments from The View didn't just fuel another media firestorm. They became the trigger for one of the highest stakes lawsuits ever aimed at a talk show, a case that could reshape how the public sees Melania and how the media handles the private lives of public figures.
In one way, it's hard because press, it's very dishonest, and it's a lot of lies that they've written also about me as my husband. And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
For the hosts, it was a gotcha moment. But for Melania, it was another example of how her words were being weaponized against her husband and against herself. This wasn't just daytime chatter anymore. It felt like open season on the former First Lady's reputation. And that's why, instead of shrugging it off, she chose to fight back in court with a lawsuit worth $100 million.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
That's unfortunate.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant. A tiny sample of the social media backlash. These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what the View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now.
So, what does all this mean beyond the headlines? It raises some tough questions. Do public figures like Melania have the right to full privacy, or is some level of scrutiny just part of the deal? And where exactly do we draw the line between free speech and outright defamation? Legal experts say this case could be a landmark moment, one that ripples through talk shows, newsrooms, and even celebrity coverage. If Melania wins, it could force the media to rethink how far they go when digging into the personal lives of public figures, whether it's politicians, celebrities, or even their families.
Republicans needed to work to be more supportive of women as pro-family, which they are, he said, and they needed to make that case
and earn
clearer.
trust.
And earn trust,
I
and
thought
he said that.
That was a nice moment in the debate. We're going to talking about it, but I do think that women don't trust Donald Trump because he says one thing and does another. Like he said.
So let me ask you this, because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And that's the bigger picture. This lawsuit isn't only about Melania's personal feelings. It touches on 3 hot-button issues: reputation, privacy, and the responsibility of the media. How far should talk shows go when they're talking about public figures? And where's the line between free speech and reckless speculation? The reaction shows just how divided the country is. Some accuse Melania of using the courts for PR, while others see her as finally standing up for her dignity.
That the first lady, former first lady, the second gentleman, the kids, they should be off limits. Let the candidates fight for themselves.
No, but she put herself in. She's got a so why can't she just have her opinion?
Saying that she hates
Is it because women on the left, at least these women on the left who are very vocal about, being the only ones on the topic that really know what's going on, they are not accepting of all women.
No, but I think they're frustrated, like a lot of women across America, when more than 1/3 of women don't have reproductive freedom.
The debate wasn't just about Melania anymore. On Fox, anchors warned that families should be off limits, that kids and spouses were never meant to be political punching bags. Harris Faulkner raised her voice. Why couldn't Melania simply have her opinion without being ridiculed? The camera caught her co-host pausing just long enough to show the unease behind the banter, and then Melania's own voice cut through the noise. Calm, deliberate.
I saw how people react to him and his passion for this country. And we travel all around the world, and he was making speeches at that time, and I saw what the people want, and I think the country was ready for change. They wanted to have somebody who was not in politics all the time. And I saw it. I saw in him as well that he really wants to do it at that time. He was talking for many, many years, but he really felt 2016 was the right time.
It is meant to intimidate and harass doctors from collecting for care given to American transit insurers and their passengers. He said that Hostin has an impeccable record, adding, American Transit has rushed into the lawsuit without ever conducting an examination of Dr. Hostin's or expressing any concerns to his lawyers. The real story here is about an insurance carrier abusing the legal system to limit and restrict healthcare benefits to its insurers and their passengers and write off its proper obligations. And then here is an actual copy of the filing where they list all of the doctors involved in this lawsuit. Now,
that contrast is what makes this lawsuit bigger than tabloid drama. On one side, a talk show framing her as miserable, unwilling, even betrayed. On the other, Melania speaking of debate, ideas, and respect for differences. The clash is more than personal, it's cultural, and that leaves the questions hanging. How much privacy does a public figure really deserve? Where does critique end and defamation begin? Some critics say she's using the courts for PR. Others argue she's standing up against a media environment that often blurs fact with entertainment. Either way, the case forces America to look in the mirror. Reputation, privacy, responsibility. 3 words now sitting at the heart of a $100 million battle.
All those people, I was very popular. All those people loved me. And some of these women, they're so stupid.
It's us. He's not going to say, oh, you're with a white guy, I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there.
Joy. Every time she'd see me, I'd be in the theater or something, and she'd, you have to be on the show again. Come on, let's go.
She loved you.
Well, we haven't been that nice to him, going after him on these racist remarks that he made, the bloviating that he does, and what have you. So now he's mad at me.
They love me.
That episode where
the way,
people should watch that episode just to see what we're talking about.
Okay.
If you watch the episode, it's bananas. It's like an alternative universe.
But does he really want to add President of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to. Please let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
Looking back, it almost feels surreal. Trump once walked onto the View stage to hugs, applause, and even introductions as our friend. Fast forward, and those same hosts are now at the center of a $100 million lawsuit from his wife. What started as daytime banter has escalated into a high-stakes legal showdown, with Joe Rogan mocking Sunny Hostin along the way. This isn't just another celebrity spat, it's a first lady taking on one of the most watched talk shows in America. And whatever the outcome, the case is bound to reshape how the media talks about the private lives of politicians and public figures. One thing is certain. This drama is far from over, and its impact will be felt well beyond the walls of the courtroom. The bigger question is, will this high-stakes lawsuit shift the way people see Melania Trump? Or will the spotlight fall back on Sunny Hostin after Rogan's sharp mockery? Either way, the fallout is far from finished, and the next moves could reshape the entire conversation. This video features commentary based on publicly aired segments from Joe Rogan and verified media coverage involving Melania Trump, Sunny Hostin, and related news events. All references are drawn from public sources. No private or speculative information is included. The content fully complies with YouTube's community guidelines and fair use policy intended for public commentary, media critique, and analysis. And if this gave you something to think about, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.